Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the show for leaders who want real results, not more noise. Join Emmanuel Rose as he helps business builders turn AI from a confusing add-on into a practical advantage with clearer messaging, stronger trust, and smarter systems. If you felt a shift happening in real time, you're not imagining it. In the agentic pivot, Emmanuel calls it the move from experimenting with AI to building with it, so it supports your team, your brand, and your growth. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emmanuel Rose. My guest today is Gabe Lullo, the CEO of Alley-Oop and the host of Do Hard Things podcast and a regular contributor to Revenue Magazine. Gabe's team supports customers like ZoomInfo, SalesLoft, and Adobe. He's trained over 8,000 salespeople and hired and managed more than 15,000 BDRs. We'll cut past the hype and get practical about how AI is changing sales development, how to hire and train for it, and what leaders must measure to scale predictable pipeline. Welcome, Gabe.
Hey, Manuel, thanks so much for having me. I'm a huge fan of yours, so I'm really excited to be on the show.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that. I know your podcast's been around for a while too, so you know the trials and rigor of podcasting.
Yeah, it's been a fun ride. Actually, I think I've done 400 episodes the last few years. It's
nice.
It's fun, but like I said, you get to meet great people like yourself and have an opportunity to share your story. It's always been great.
Yeah, well, talk to me a little bit about Alley-Oop and about what you guys are you training? Are you hiring for other people, or what do you actually do?
Yeah, so we're not a marketing agency. We're not a sales firm. We're right in the middle of both marketing and sales, and we specialize in one thing, and that's sales development. So companies come to us, like you mentioned, ZoomInfo, Adobe, and a bunch of startups. We've helped over 1,600 brands. We've been doing this for over 15 years. And we run, build, and execute the sales development function. So we have hundreds of SDRs that work for us every single year, full-time. They're our employees, and we're going in and white labeling and branding out their function. So we're making cold calls, we're sending emails, we're doing LinkedIn outreach, and providing leads to their closers or their founders, depending on the size of their company.
Wow, you guys are doing the heavy lifting, as I call it. That's for sure.
Yeah, doing the hard things, like my show. It's different.
I like that. Do the hard things. It reminds me of Jesse Itzler and all that stuff that he's talking about, right? With Goggins and all that stuff that he's doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Well, now, do you work with SaaS or e-com brands, or who's your target?
Yeah, it started off in SaaS. I mean, ZoomInfo, SalesLoft, Outreach, Quorum, the software companies, especially in the sales and marketing age, was really where we started. But now we've developed really into any industry. We have, staffing firms. We have, commercial cleaning companies. We have AI businesses, professional services. So really the evolution of the SDR role, where it is a two-team approach, right? Where there's a rep cold calling or setting, and then there's a rep selling or closing. That, model has moved into a lot of other industries. So yeah, we do it all.
I got you. So usually, when you have like big logos like that, people are like, well, maybe I don't have the budget for that kind of help. What do you say when that comes up?
Yeah, I mean, we don't like hearing the word no because we're salespeople. So we figured out how do we create a program where we don't hear the word no ever, right? Yeah. So we actually have created a fractional sales development function, which has been highly successful. Yeah. So you got those founder-led sales, you got those book authors who, personal trainers, independent consultants, financial planners. Yep. So instead of having to hire, your friend's son on an internship to cold call half of their day part-time, you're actually getting an enterprise supported and an enterprise level sales development team, but you're only paying for 20 hours a week versus an entire dedicated person. So that fractional SDR service is really a great entry level price point for companies who just don't have the bandwidth to go all in.
Yeah, or startups, right? There's
Right,
another one.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. Well, I know that AI has impacted your business, but I'm curious to hear how you guys are leveraging it and keeping the humans in the place where the humans need to be, and the software in the place where the software needs to be.
Yeah, I heard a while ago that, a setter, an SDR that doesn't take AI on head on and adapt it is going to be replaced for the ones that do, but not necessarily replaced by AI entirely, right?
Right.
So
Sure.
we want to augment and support and enable humans with technology. And so one of the ways we do that through AI is we partner up with technology tools that allow us to enhance the rep, whether it's training them or giving them live battle cards or scoring and assessing their abilities. So when a new hire comes in, instead of having to spend all day with a manager that costs a lot of money to train them, they could spend 10% of their day with the manager and 80% of their day sparring with an AI bot trying to get them to say
Yep.
yes to a demo. So
Yeah,
we're
love it.
using sparring partners to AI, we're using scoring and battle cards, real-time analytics. That's how AI has been able to just make a small impact on the new hires and so much more.
Yeah, I love it. I have an appointment with a client that's like that, where they're training their sales staff with the custom gems, right? And they're digging through a lot of the objections handling and those sorts of things. So it's a cool
Yeah,
application.
exactly.
Well, how are you guys using it internally for your own work?
Well, research, right? So pulling the list, figuring out what the ideal client profile is, taking an existing campaign that's working and doing a lookalike of that company to help with another campaign that may be struggling. So we're using AI really to understand intent signals. We're using AI to pull and research lists and determine whether or not we're reaching out to the right people. That definitely is a huge piece of it. We're also using an AI dialer that allows our reps to go ahead and, the dialer is knowing based on historical data, when is the best time to call that person again. Maybe they picked up at 8 a.m. The last time we called them. So let's do that again. And it will automatically make that call, not as an auto dialer where the AI is talking to them, but it actually executes the call at that exact time based on historical data. And that's all powered by AI. So then the human can have a better connection rate or a pickup rate. Because in the phone business, it's not about how many dials you make, it's about how many people pick up the phone. So the best way we can connect, and the more connects, we call that our connection rate, the higher that is, the better it is for us.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like that. So what about the voice AI and making phone calls and talking to people? Are you practicing with that or experimenting with that, or are you just leaving that off the table right now?
We are, but it's limited, with the legal ramifications. So if you're reaching out with an AI actual talk track, you really have only the ability to do it with existing customers or people who've already opted in. So if
Right.
you have an upselling opportunity or an opt-in opportunity or something where it's not as a large of a ticket item and it's more of a transactional conversation, AI can jump in all day long. But if you're calling straight cold to a CEO about a $200,000 deal and it's the first impression that you're making, you definitely don't want to mess that up, and humans have to make that call.
Yeah, I love it. Well, tell me about what you're seeing in terms of human capital and the people who are coming in wanting to do this kind of work. Are you seeing Gen Z and those kids under 20, 28, 29? Are they coming in, or is it's still the millennial workforce?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. We've had somebody recently come on our team, and he's 22 years old, and he
Hmm.
became a manager in a year. And then we had
Nice.
someone else come on our team, and he said they were the greatest cold call in the world, and they didn't last 3 days. So, so experience is always not the only judge in this scenario. It's really grit, it's work ethic, it's consistency, it's tenacity. And that's really what we look for, and hard to find in a resume, hard to find in a first interview. So we
Yes.
really like to give people shots and then coach and inspire and train and inform. But of course we have to, make adjustments if it's not a fit. But yeah, it's really an opportunity. I have people with 9 grandkids making cold calls right now.
Nice.
And then I have
Yeah.
people who just graduated last year and everywhere in between.
So it sounds like it's more of a psychographic situation than an age situation.
Yeah, it's all mindset and our approach. Attitude is everything when it comes to sales. And it's like, do you want to, make your mark and start here as a lily pad to grow your career? It's a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to, kind of just have a more of a transactional, I punch in, make my calls and leave, and yet I still make a big impact? That's an option as well. So it really depends on what you're trying to get out of it. But to your point, the most individuals are young, they're getting started in tech sales. This is a great run for 2 years, and then they can graduate into a more, full cycle sales role.
Yeah. So then you really have to have good training systems in order to be able to manage that kind of turnover, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's about training that. It's about making sure that they're, being supported and coached. One unique thing about the career path is all of our reps are actually legally poachable. So our clients can hire our reps and convert them to a full-time closer. And it's a win-win-win. And it really is, because one, the rep wants to grow into that. Two, the client's growing because of our help. And they want to obviously build their own teams internally. And they already know the person who's been working on that campaign for several months, several years. So it's an easy transition. And for us, they usually need more appointments to support that new sales rep. So we're always winning in that scenario.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're actually getting paid to train salespeople for some of your clients.
I just got sick of getting poached email. So we kind of made it an opportunity for them to do it without getting mad.
Wow, that's smart man. You turn a problem into a profit center.
Exactly.
Well, I love it. I guess, what are some of the things for somebody to start thinking about if they're like, well, I really do need this kind of help for outreach or for SDRs, and what do I need to get it together in advance of contracting with somebody like Alley?
Yeah, I mean, you could come to us and really not know much, right? You can say, what, I don't know where to get a list from. I don't know where to get data. We provide that. We can build the list. We can determine the ideal client profile. We can source all those contacts. And so you may come to the table and say, I'm really not looking for deals. I'm looking to see if I have product market fit. I'm trying to get investments. So I need data to have, that raw material to go get investment money. We can be there as well. But I will say the big piece to our business is to drive pipeline and to drive revenue. So if you have a product, who is going to be your ideal buyer, and you have a great sales team or a demo, or yourself as a great closer and you're the founder, and the only thing stopping you from going to market is more conversations on your calendar, then that's really where we hit it out of the park.
Yeah, and you fit in that space of getting somebody interested and saying, yeah, I want to move to the next step. Am I hearing you right?
The best analogy I can ever share, and it's always worked for me, is we're the trailer to the movie. Okay. So we're not the movie. We're not going to tell you who everyone that dies at the end. We're not going to ruin the movie for you. We're just there to get you excited enough to go see the movie. And the movie's the demo, the movie's the sales presentation, the movie's the discovery call. So we're there, we're punchy, we're quick. We're not trying to be the expert. We're promoting the expert, and we're trying to find out, are they the right fit? Is there a need? Is there a want? Is there a desire? Are we relevant? And if those three things are there, and that conversation is meaningful in that regard, then we'll pass it to the right people. And again, that's our analogy. We're the trailer to the movie.
I like that. Well, that's an important spot. I'm curious if you're seeing, like, as far as offers around playbooks versus demos, or what are you seeing in terms of some of that technical closing to get to the next layer?
Yeah, I mean, right now playbooks are super important, right? You need to know and have a foundation, especially when training a rep. They need to know exactly what you need and to expect. When you're in a live conversation, you don't want someone rambling and going off the rails and misrepresenting your brand too. So playbooks are super important when it comes to the structure of it. And AI is a great opportunity to build that playbook and to use AI to make sure the messaging is tight and make sure the messaging is relevant and making sure that it's on brand. So the playbook is the start of the entire opportunity to work with the client. We build those for our clients as well.
Nice. Talk to me a little bit about who some of your philosophical mentors are around sales, just books or
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well,
thinkers.
yeah, Jim Rohn, he's
Yeah.
amazing. He's probably I would say the OG. He was, Tony Robbins' mentor. He was Darren Hardy's mentor.
Yeah.
He actually mentored a personal mentor of mine who's alive and mentored me a lot. So he's someone that I point to all the time. Another gentleman is John Maxwell, who I think
Oh
has
yeah, sure.
80 books in the leadership section of Barnes&
Yeah.
Nobles.
Yeah.
His first book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, really talks about how to build teams, how to inspire, how to measure, how to work with the right people. Obviously, you got those amazing books like Think and Grow Rich, or you got How to Win Friends and Influence People. But I think John Maxwell is super relevant right now when it comes to people dynamics.
Yeah, he is. He's a human-centered sales thinker for sure, leadership thinker. So
Yeah.
that's cool. What about for somebody who's young in their career? What would you recommend for them to do to learn about sales? Not necessarily work for your company, but it could be. But what kind of mentoring would you give somebody young in their career?
Yeah, I mean, strength of language, confidence, and the art of communication is unfortunately in the age of technology is a kind of a dying art, right?
Yeah,
My
for
12-year-old
sure.
daughter would rather text than make a call.
Yeah,
I don't know if she can find the phone app on her phone, frankly. But when it comes to business, when it comes to success, when it comes to leadership and being a CEO, I don't think there is more of an important skill than how to communicate effectively with people, whether it's prospects, vendors, partners, investors, or most importantly, your team that
yeah,
works for you. So making sure that you don't just sit in front of a screen or use technology to communicate effectively with your words, I think is the most important thing to do when you're young and to learn how to do it. And I had to go on conferences, I had to read books, and I had to go on the road and find those people all across the country back in the day.
yeah,
Now we have amazing podcasts like this, and we have the ability to hop on a YouTube and watch unlimited resources. See, one thing sales is very interesting. It's the only profession that doesn't have a college degree that I know of, right? Like
yeah.
you can't go to school and get a degree in sales. Yet there's more books, more training, more
Yeah.
assets, more material than any other industry out there than sales. So it's interesting. I think maybe that's why that's the case. So yeah,
Wow.
I really recommend just soaking up as much as you possibly can. Being a sponge. Hey, come to work here. You'll learn a lot as well.
Yeah, I love it, and it sounds like a great opportunity to build a career. And I do love that about sales is that yeah, you can't get a degree in it, but you could still make a seven-figure lifestyle
For sure.
if you get in the right situation. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I have friends that make more than doctors and lawyers combined, and they don't have any big college degree, and they've been able to do that in either high ticket sales or building a team of companies that all revolve around sales. So I absolutely completely agree with you.
well, I got to ask you, what's next for you in the coming months? What are you releasing? What are you doing? What are you thinking about?
Yeah, so we've aligned some massive partnerships. Right now, we're really heavy on building our referral program. So
Nice.
we have been attracting hundreds of chief revenue officers, chief marketing officers. Many of them are mostly actually fractional CROs and fractional CMOs. That's the new word for consultants, by the way.
Yeah.
So fractional everything. But the fractional go-to-market leader
Uh-huh.
could work with us and bring us in as an execution partner. We make them look really good, right?
Yeah.
Because they can go ahead and say, okay, we can build the strategy, we can build the training, we can build the playbook, but who's going to actually start making the calls? Well, Gabe is,
Yeah.
right?
Love it.
So we could come in there and execute and do that. So we're building those alliances right now and attracting those partners right now. We're really excited about it.
I love it. No, that's a really smart way to do it. And I think the only thing I'd say about that is that I think fractional is gets a little more hands-on, right, than the consultants ever did.
Yeah, you're totally right. Yeah, you're totally right.
But it has become a buzzword that
Yes.
it's starting to get on my nerves.
5 years ago, you may not know what you were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I love the work that you're doing, Gabe, and it's super important in the business process. And it is probably, I think, the hardest part of sales. Personally, from having been in sales myself for over 35 years, is the creating that relationship with a stranger and having enough dynamism and flexibility to dance for those first 42 seconds, if you get that long, right? The first 6 seconds, then the first minute. So you're really doing God's work in the area of sales. I
appreciate that. Another analogy I always say, it's like Saturday Night Live, right? The reason why Saturday Night Live is so entertaining and been on for 50 years is because it's live, right? So like, knowing that it's live and knowing that someone could break, or knowing that, something could get messed up, and knowing that it's not scripted, that's what creates the exhilaration of it, right? But here, when you're on a phone call in a live scenario, it's nerve-wracking, it's challenging, it's hard, and but if you get good at it and you turn it into a profession, a career, a business, and use it as a lily pad, I know very successful entrepreneurs who started doing that in their career, who are self-made at this moment.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the work you're doing. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you and have a conversation with you about you doing it for them, how do they do that?
Yeah, our website or my LinkedIn. I'm a very avid LinkedIn member. I post literally twice a day. We post our own show, our podcast. We have a newsletter that comes out every 2 weeks. So ping me on LinkedIn. If you can't connect with me there, just reach out to our website, alleyoop.io, and we'll have a conversation.
All right. Well, I really am thankful for your time, and thanks for a great show, and best of luck to you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks. I love it that the strength of language is a critical part that we probably all can get better at, and that we see how we can continue to influence our prospects, our vendors, our teams, and that there's places that AI are not going to be able to impact, and that's the human to human connection. And I hope that you found value in the conversation that we had today, and that I had with Gabe Lullo from Alley-Oop. I also hope that you continue to educate yourself on AI and places where you might be able to get value in terms of getting time back in your workday. And with that time, you spend it with your friends and family, that you continue to upskill, and that you get outside into nature and get away from the screens. This is Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening.